everybody.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, we're having our afternoon Chakra Insight time. This is, week 12 maybe.
Week 12, yeah.
Yeah. So we are deep into the chakra work, or at least, I know I am.
Yes, for sure.
And last week we did, or the insight that came up was guidance. And I really enjoyed listening to and hearing you guys on the Facebook page talk about what signs and symbols show up for you when you feel guided and how you know you're being guided. That's a really interesting topic for me. I love talking about synchronicity, signs, symbols, all that stuff. So it was really fun for me this past week. And what I noticed for myself personally is that when I was able to tap into, because it felt like a level of alignment. When I was able to tap into this place of alignment, I noticed the signs and symbols appearing in my life more clearly. And I just felt more tuned in, relaxed, and able to see what was going on and where I needed to go. And when I did not feel that way, I was up in my mind listening to thoughts of fear, worry, concern, all those things were popping up. So it's almost like the analogy I like is water. So when we're at the top of the water, like a lake or the ocean, the water is choppy. Like our mind, the water is very choppy. It's hard to see clearly to the bottom. But once we tap in and get down to that level of alignment, we begin to see clearly everything around us and see which way to go. So that's what I felt like was helping me this past week, is to just tune in to that level whenever I felt myself get more scattered in the mind.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and for myself, I noticed, so I have an 8-year-old, and she likes to talk a lot. She's very much like her mother. So for me, I noticed it was really hard to tap into that guidance, the flow, the synchronicities, the signs, when there was a lot of stimulation going on. So if there was a lot of chatter, conversation, music on, whatever it is, looking through social media, it was harder to tap into that sense of flow. And those times where I was able to do my meditations in the morning or have quiet time, that child-free time that's so important for parents, a quiet time for really anyone is super important. That's when it became easier for me to notice the signs and the synchronicities and alignment going on around me, and to tap into that sense of flow. So as far as that goes, I'm excited to see what comes this week.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's get right to it and choose our chakra insight for this week. I'm going to choose today, and I'm going to go with this one. All right, we got intuition this week, and it is the third eye chakra, right between our eyebrows. And this is where we find trust, insight, awareness, and guidance. So Shannon's gonna.
Yes. What number is that?
It's 41.
Okay. Your true power shines as you move within the quiet rhythms of your inner knowing. The card story. Moving through the subtle realms of space within a moment, an illuminated being celebrates the feeling of being in the flow. In tune with higher currents and guided by light that comes from within, she embodies a quiet inner knowing with each dynamic step. Following subtle signs and grounded messages from her body, she knows when and where to move and when to be still. She sees with all senses and dances within the graceful rhythms of life itself. Intuition. The message. Amidst our modern race to beat the clock and conquer challenge with logic and reason, there is a subtle and profound path that has been walked by great masters and indigenous people throughout the ages. It is a path marked not by linear time and rational thought, but by synchronicity and the whispered wisdom of intuition. Intuition is not wishful thinking or idle dreaming. It is the deep inner knowing of our subconscious mind rising up to guide our steps in the world. It is the power of meditative connection in action. It is time for you to quiet your mind and look beyond the logic of your normal perceptions. Invite the wisdom of your intuition to move through your thoughts and actions in very real ways. It starts as you journey through simple decisions each day, whether to go left or right on a walk, what time to leave for work, when to call a friend, etc. Before you leap into action, practice tuning into the quiet voice and see what guidance it may offer. Trust it, take action, and see what comes. As you foster this direct communion with your higher self, it will become stronger and easier to decipher from the rest of life's voices. You will know deep in your being when you are in the flow of high currents, and you will feel it in your bones when you are not. Our intuition may speak more quietly than the screaming demands of our life, but its simple whispered suggestion is worth 10,000 hours of misaligned effort. Our intuition may offer guidance that does not seem entirely rational at the time, but this is only because its vision is not bound by the confines of our current state of mind and situation. This voice of our higher self is here not to lure us into the clouds, but to guide our very real steps in the world from a higher place of being. This card encourages you to practice being present in life, rather than floating off into a daydream fantasy world. To best access and make use of your intuition, you need to be alert, present, and grounded in reality. It does not call for a denial of your physical needs or the realities of life, but rather to tune into a more expansive experience of that reality. We all have intuition. Breathe, listen, trust, follow, let it empower your life. Well, this is a good one after last week. Goes right in line with guidance.
Yes. So with guidance, we were able to open up the crown and let that guidance come in. And with intuition, we began to see the patterns, how, where we could go, how we could act, and tuning into and following that guidance. So that's a perfect one to go.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're tuned in now. We've already tuned in, and now we're just going to continue to move towards the choices that are intuitively guided in our lives.
Our inner knowing.
Yes. All right. So
fantastic. Well, make sure that you like and comment on our Facebook page. Share it with anyone that you feel is called to this journey. We love interacting with all of you and getting to know you better through this space.
Yes. So thank you guys, and we'll see you throughout the week.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.